Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21 The Harrelson Group with my co-host Abe Safa, also with Century 21 The Harrelson Group here in Myrtle Beach, and just want to share another episode of what's going on in the Myrtle Beach real estate market. Abe, lots of things going on, right?
Man,
It's been a ride so far this year in 2021.
it really has. And, we keep saying this every week, but it just seems to get hotter and hotter every single week. It's just,
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yeah, I know we're going to share some numbers, and you've always been very good about sharing some data. But we were also talking about a conversation about, sellers, how to get top price for their property. I think that was the conversation. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially right now in this market. I mean,
Yeah.
yesterday I put 3 properties on the market. They all sold in that same day. Two
Yes.
of them multiple offers above asking. So, I mean, stuff is selling quick right now. So I think it'd be a good time to have that conversation to make sure that, we represent sellers most of the time. Of course, we represent buyers, but as a seller, how to make sure you get the most for your home right now.
Yeah, and I think one thing, I'll start off with just one thing that comes to my mind is one thing is making sure that you're making decisions on good information, good
Yeah.
data. Let's just assume for a moment somebody's wanting to sell and they're talking to multiple agents. Well, every one of the agents are going to say, yes, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I can sell your property. And quite frankly, they're probably telling the truth. They probably can sell the property. Um, you know, but pricing the property and positioning the property at the right price is where the art of selling real estate comes in. Like if a property is, if there's 10 sales, and let's just say the average sale is $200,000, that doesn't mean you need to price your property at 200,000. The average, because the average means some sold higher, some sold lower. So you want to look at the ones that sold higher and ask yourself and identify, are those the most recent sales? Because if they're the most recent sales, then that tells us that the average in the future is going to be higher than 200 as this hypothetical. So making sure that you're looking at the data, you're dissecting the data and understanding the highs, the lows, the time frame, and not only looking at past sales, but looking at the competition, looking at what's for sale now, because there could be an average price of $300,000 as a past sale, but everything that's listed right now could be at $330,000. What that tells me is it's likely that the future sales are going to be higher than the past sales. So the days of pricing the property based on the last 6 months comparable sales, though it's important to look at that, the days of using that as the only data are gone. So you got to make sure that when you're talking with a real estate agent and y'all are talking about a pricing strategy, that you look at all those things. I know our job is to get, we attempt to get our sellers as much money, if not more, than what they're expecting whenever we're listing. But any other thoughts on the subject, Abe?
Yeah, I mean, those are all great points, Greg. You cannot, as a seller right now, as an agent, look at the past sales. Now then it's appreciating market. Stuff is going up daily. Inventory is getting tighter daily. So it's really important to everything that you said, look at what's out there, look at the competition, look at what's active, but also work with an agent that's got a good pulse on the market. Like, for example, one of the properties I put on the market yesterday, we had 6 offers. Okay.
Yeah.
We went highest and best. We got a really good offer. The seller was happy. And then today I got 2 more offers because we haven't had a chance to put it in the computer as pending. So it's still showing as active. Got 2 more offers. So that's what, 7. So there was 6 people that did not get to be able to buy this house. That's 6 buyers out there looking for that type of home. So now we as a company, we sell, I mean, between our 3 offices, we'll do over 3,000 transactions this year. So we've got a really good pulse on what the market is doing. We have a really good pulse on how many buyers are out there and what they're looking for. So knowing that if I take a listing, I already know which agents to contact because I know they've got buyers looking for that kind of home. So having a good pulse on the market, aligning yourself with an agent that actually knows what's happening, as opposed to just kind of looking at what happened in the past, I think is crucial right now in this type of market.
Yeah. And people ask all the time, well, do I need to update my property? Sometimes yes, most times no. Now, what I mean by there are certain updates that you can do that will make a difference.
Right.
but a lot of times people go overboard. So you really want to, and that's kind of a one-off conversation, meaning, what we want to do is we like to look at the home and look at what updates you might be considering. And then we can kind of give an idea of whether or not those updates need to be done beforehand, or if they're really not going to have a material impact on the value. So, I do see people overspending to put their property in a certain condition, and it's really not giving their money back at the sale. I also see people underspending on some simple things, not maybe painting the whole house, but maybe touching up the house with a little bit of paint so it looks a little bit more fresher. There are things that you can do that at minimal cost that can have a significant impact on pricing. So, again, those are the conversations we would want to have with our clients.
Yeah, and that's a case by case basis, right? It depends on what the client's goals are. If it's the highest price, then we can have that conversation of what should be done or not done to the home to get that.
That's
if it's
right.
a quicker sale, we could talk about that as well. Also marketing, Greg. I know not much is required right now in this kind of market because everything is selling. But let me tell you, let me tell the audience what the importance of marketing right now. Going back to the multiple offers I have on that one home and having a pulse on what the buyer, how many buyers are out there. We've got a list of agents. I've got just this morning, I probably have 4 or 5 agents contact me. Hey, what do you have that's coming to the market? Because they know I sell a lot of properties. So do you. So we have agents that are constantly contacting us to kind of get that first shot at a property because it's selling so quickly. So also part of marketing for me, especially in this kind of market, is being able to reach out to these agents, okay, before the property even hits the market and letting them know, hey, this is going to be on the market soon. Go ahead and get your buyers lined up. And I'll tell you what, agents really appreciate that. And it seems to bring better offers that way.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's talk about some numbers. What are we seeing? Let's see if I know we had some challenge with some screen share, but let's see if that'll work. And if not, then I know the numbers. So either way.
Yeah, so we're using a different service today for the streaming. So hopefully this will work.
I see it well, so we're good.
Okay, perfect. So this is the single family homes across the board.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I cannot believe that I'm seeing 67%. I'm sorry, everybody, for interrupting, but it really is absolutely shocking. By the way, hey, maybe can we get a background picture? I'd really like it to be a sunny day, not a rainy day, but that's just something in the future. Okay, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
We can change that picture, Greg. So yeah, 67%. And again, it's really worse than that or better than that, depending on how you look at it, because that also has to be built and under construction in there. So that number is kind of skewed a little bit, right? But that's everything that's in the MLS right now that we're looking at. So if it's in the MLS, it's reflective in this number. Again, I'm going to give it a little context here. Last year at this point, we were at maybe 32%, 30%. So double the absorption rate right now, more than double. Homes are selling quick. They're selling for high prices. That's all single family homes across the board. When we look at resales, and by the way, last week that number was 64.76.
Oh, wow.
So every single week it has gone up every single week, for a few months now.
Yeah.
So resale, 66.21. Last week that was 63.5. All right, so homes are getting gobbled up. I mean, you notice, Greg. I mean, we're seeing it. It's like when we take a listing, it's gone. It's selling quickly.
Yes.
Let's look at new construction. Almost 68% of all new construction is under contract right now. So their inventory is getting depleted as well. They're trying to, get as many homes on the market as possible right now. But that process takes a couple of years. You can't just take raw dirt and pop some homes on it. So that process takes some time to be able to get some inventory out there. So
let me share something interesting I learned today, and you may have already known this, but I think it's important, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the numbers look like in about 30 to 45 days. So I just got this information. There's a significant builder, a really big national builder in our market that has, if you go to their build sites, they will not sell you a home and commit to a lot or a price or even a plan until they've already built the home and got it to the drywall stage. So meaning You can't, like, if you go in, you used to could go in and say, I want that lot and I'd like that plan. And they would already have a price on that for that property. So let's just say 299,000, you can have that lot and that house. Start picking out the granite and the colors and cabinets, etc. They're not doing that right now. You actually can go over there and they're going to say, okay, we're building all of these houses right now. We have no prices on them. You can see where they are and you can see what lot they're on. And on a certain day, we're going to release these houses. We're going to put a price on them. We're going to release them all in the same day. There's a builder that says they are going to be releasing approximately 100 homes at the same time. And they're telling agents and the buyers now that go ahead and get your pre-approval and everything. And then when they release them, they're going to take offers in order. So so the agents are like, they're driving by, they're showing these properties, the exterior of these properties, that this is the lot, this is the house, and we don't know what the price is. Now, the reason why the builders are doing that is because the building supply costs are going up so much that they can't commit to a price because they don't even know how much it's going to cost to build them. So they says, I'll just go ahead and build them, and then we'll see how much it costs, and then I'll price in my margin accordingly. That's why the builders are doing it. But what's going to happen, Abe, is those properties are not even listed right now.
Right.
So what's going to happen is we're probably going to see, I'm going to use the number 100 properties hit the MLS from one builder one day, and probably 100 of them go under contract within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, what you'll see is another imbalance in that number of pendings to active inventory ratio. I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And yeah, I mean, construction costs are going up on a daily basis, so they don't know what the lumber is going to cost by the time to do it. So I don't blame them. What's also really interesting on that is that tells me how much confidence they have in the market right now.
Yeah.
Because they're taking, so builders like to actually sell homes in advance and then build them so they can get their contracts in order. And now they're willing, okay, at least this particular builder willing to take on all the risk, build all 100 before they get any contract. That's a good sign of how confident they are in the market, that they're willing to take on all the risk.
Yeah, because they got to keep their money out there. That means they have their money out in those homes for a longer period of time with no guarantee that it's going to be sold. Well, I think they're very confident it's going to be sold, and they're willing to do this.
Right.
And and I guess the other flip side of it is, if they don't do this, then they could end up building houses at lower than needed margins, where the margins are too low. They can't make enough profit.
Right.
And if they've already committed to a price, and we've seen on a house, we've seen the same exact house in a 3-month period of time increase the cost to build it, increase as much of $25,000 to $30,000. So yes. I mean, it's real money here that we're talking about. That's why these builders are being careful.
Yeah, here's something else that's interesting with multiple builders right now is they're not even taking contracts, contingent on you selling a home.
That's right.
Like, they're not even doing that anymore. They used to be able, like, oh yeah, we'll take a contract even if your home is not in the market yet, we'll take it, right? Because they wanted to sell. But there's just so much demand out there right now. They've got a lot of leverage.
Yeah, and so and I will say all sellers have a lot of leverage.
Oh yeah, all sellers across the board. Exactly.
All seller resales as well.
All right, so that's the new construction number. Then let's look at the condo market, which is again surprising. More than half the condos, 54%, 0.12% of all condos on the market right now are under contract with buyers. Last week it was 52.16. This time of year, we're typically somewhere around the 22, 24%. If it got really hot, it could be 28%. So all of these numbers are like just a context compared to what they typically are just like through the roof right now.
Yeah, off the charts.
Yeah, completely off the charts. And then check out the oceanfront, Greg. Almost 40% of all oceanfront condos on the market are under contract. Yeah. And last week that was 36.93. That's usually 18%, 19%. Right. So, and then if you actually dove in and look at these numbers, there's some dogs in there, right? There's, you know, I don't want to criticize any buildings, but there's some buildings in there that have quite a bit of inventory, right? There's about
Yeah.
5 or 6 buildings that have a good bit of inventory. So if you kind of take those out of the equation and look for oceanfront condos right now, there's really not a whole lot out there. So if you've got a condo on the ocean and you've been thinking about selling and you're not in one of those buildings where there's a ton of competition, you can pretty much pick your price right now and it within reason. And it's selling.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, land. This is the only thing the only one that's been kind of flat, at least compared to last week. Last week it was 22.37. Now it's 22.35. I was a little bit surprised to see that. So not much change there relative to homes and condos on the market.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, overall, the market, you know, as we've been saying for months now, the market is very strong, extremely active. And, you know, if anybody is thinking about selling, you know, we take this very seriously. You know, we want to, you know, drive your price as high as we can. We want to protect your equity and make sure that we reach your time frame goals as much as we can. So, you know, Abe, great content. If people want to reach you and they can give us a call. Greg Harrelson at gmail.com is my email address. Abe, what is your email address?
abesafa@gmail.
Okay, so reach out to us, you know, at any time. We would love to help you. Abe, thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoyed it, Greg. You have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.